Good evening, good evening. It's 8 o'clock. We're live for day 2. So hopefully you will start joining me before the thunder starts. Apparently some people were having thunder at 8 o'clock yesterday, so let's make it a tradition. It's just gone like really weirdly dark here, and half of my view is sun. Caroline, hello. And the other half is massive cloud. So yeah, if you've got a thunderstorm, give me a little, find your little thunderstorm icon. I love a good storm, love it. So how are you all? Have you had a good day? I've had a fab day, but I've got an admission before we start. So if I wiggle around a little bit, it's because I've been on a massive bike ride. So I bought a bike at the early part of lockdown and thought, oh, this will be great. I'll be able to go off with the kids and we'll have an amazing time. And I never did, never got around to it. And today I've been on a very short ride with the kids later on in the afternoon. And honestly, I remember now why I don't, because it was really stressful. Yeah, but now literally I'm so sore. Like I'm sore muscly and I'm sore like bruised. Oh, Rachel, you've got a storm. Love it. Love a storm. And it's felt like that today, hasn't it? Just that kind of need to get the storm done. So I'm going to really try hard not to wriggle around because I do keep wanting to readjust. So are you all good? How are you feeling? How did you feel about the task that I gave you? And I'm so impressed with the number of you that have put your comments in. You've shared what your plans were, what your wants to earn, what your needs to earn are, and I'd love to know how that went. How was it? Is that the first time you've ever done this? Was it like oh God, I need to dig out, bills and look at my bank statements, or did you already know? Because I'm interested in how that went, because some people are really over it all. They've got a really good handle, a reality check, yeah. And other people, it's just like, well, I've got a vague understanding of what comes in and what goes out. But, there's an age-old phrase that if you can't see something, you can't manage it. So if you've got a spreadsheet, love spreadsheets. I've got spreadsheets for everything. Did you have a spreadsheet before, or did you have a spreadsheet now? That's the question, Zoe. Yeah, the more organised you can be, and actually knowing what comes out, what goes in, how often it is, planning all that stuff, that's just good practice. And knowing what your monthly position is with the monies coming in and out, rather than being scared of it, should be something that you can go, totally know this. Like, it doesn't create stress for me because I know that these bills go out on these days and then this comes in, and you can manage it a lot easier. It's when suddenly things kind of crop up and you go, God, I didn't expect that £200 to go out. That's when you can end up in that panic and that sort of scarcity, but there isn't enough in there. If you know and you can plan for it, then you're in a lot stronger position, and you can plan for other things and sort of work that forward. So let me go back and see what people have said. It's fab that so many comments come up. Oh no, I'll press something, go away. Loads of hellos, hello, evening, yeah. Rachel's the only one who's told me she's got a storm. Nobody else got a storm. New ballparks, she created us. Oh, Zoe, I love it. Okay, hubby insisted on having a spreadsheet and found it a chore. Yeah, you see, it is a chore, but do you know what? It's one of those things that actually getting your house in order is a useful job. It is a job worthwhile doing. Gabriella, hi, lovely to see you. You've got a storm. See, they're all over, aren't they? It's good. It clears the air, gets the pavements washed, and we can all then have a sunny day, hopefully, again tomorrow. So let's recap. So we talked yesterday a lot about, well, how can we tell that we're in a place where we need to change? And I very much established that you guys are all on it. You know what you want. You want to make a change. And we just kind of explored that a little bit, just to make sure that you were totally in that, I'm not just going to play. I know that this is right for me, and when things get tough, I'm not going to be tempted back. So we worked through that, but then we got quite practical at the end, which is hence what led into your homework, which was around the piece of the work of doing your homework, getting to understand what your need to earn number, and then starting to have a little bit of fun around what would I want to earn? And it is by no coincidence, that's the right word, no coincidence that today we're going to talk about that in a lot more detail. We're going to talk about what you really, really want. Before these disappear, Caroline, you already knew your figures, but you hadn't thought about your like to earn figure. Spreadsheet, love a spreadsheet. And yeah, I think spreadsheets are the way forward. I think you can manage everything in a spreadsheet, quite honestly. I do. This is a little insight now. This is how much I love it. So my two boys both have their birthdays in December. I hope they can't hear me, by the way. And obviously you've got another major event in December as well. So we actually create a spreadsheet for their birthday presents, because there's relatives that ask us about what they want. And we did it one year without, and I told one relative one thing and my husband had told somebody else the same thing, so they ended up with duplicates. So we just literally create this spreadsheet and we allocate people names. It's easy, takes the stress out of it. Right, let's get on with today. What do you really want? So I want you to answer me first off. We're going back in time. When you were a child and you used to sit and have a little daydream, you might have been at school, you might have been making daisy chains, you might have been kind of watching the clouds float by. What did you think you wanted to do? What did you think you wanted to be? Now, you do that. Yeah, five kids, Rima. I don't blame you. Spreadsheets all the way. I'd be having like activities on spreadsheets and stuff. Right, so what have you always dreamed about? What is that thing where when you were a kid, and this might have like gone, you're going to have to dig in a little bit to, well, I can't remember, right? You know, that was ages ago. Have a think, go back. Think about, you know, all those times when you just used to think, when I'm big, when I grow up, that's the phrase I hear a lot, when I'm a big boy, when I'm this, what was yours? Tell me what yours was, because we need to start to get back to that person who just used to literally just dream, and there weren't those restrictions. So my youngest is 6. And he is going to be about 5 things. Now, there's a theme to the things. I'm only telling you this while you're typing in, by the way, I'm filling. There's about 5 things he's going to be. He's going to be a MotoGP driver. He's going to be a Formula 1 driver. He's going to be a Formula E driver. He's going to drive high-speed trains across Japan, because he saw a YouTube video on them once. And I think he's going to be pit crew for another one as well. So there's a theme, isn't there? He likes speed and sports, motorsports. But he has no concept that it's not possible probably to be all those things, and he will talk about it like, yeah, that's what I'm going to be. There's no debate about it. That is what he's going to be. So it's that person, it's that innocence of, yeah, of course I can do that, because why not? You know, it's a beautiful time to be. And then as we grow older, we start to learn these stories. We end up getting restricted by life, and then actually these things just float away. They get forgotten in the mists of time. And do you step towards it? Do you make that change? Did you stick with that? Did you change it into something else? Is it anywhere near where you are? Right, I doubt it. Let's have a look. What are you telling me? So Rachel, I always wanted to be a nurse, which I accomplished. Beautiful. Then I took another angle. I knew I wanted to earn lots. Brilliant. Yeah, fine. But fabulous that you had that dream and you did your dream, but you went, okay, right, well, this perhaps isn't where you want to get to in your life. So yeah, new angle, but love that you did your thing. Working from home, time, freedom in the countryside. So Donna, was that your dream as a child? I bet your dream as a child had a label on it. You're telling us what you would like now, I think. So connect back to that previous daydream and tell me what that was. What did you dream of? Kirsty wanted to be a writer. Interesting. So Rachel is HR now, nurse HR. Okay. But you have your business vision in sight. Love it. Yeah, good. I did HR as well, Rachel. I did it at uni even, and then went and got a job in HR. A novelist, brilliant. Oh, we've got some creative people. Choreographer, graphics designer, and now you're a fitness instructor. Well, yeah, so that's got some similarities. Designing in your marketing stuff, writers. Oh, loads of creative people in here. Sailing around, love that, Gabriella. Sailing around the world in a white yacht, and I love the fact that you know what colour it had to be. Sailing around the world, yeah, took me 25 years. So Rima said, took me 25 years to do it. Still have to work, not enough. Okay, wanted to be a show jumper, and you were for several years. Fabulous. Then had to retire and join the corporate world. Boo. Rosanna hasn't answered. She's just joined. Hello, Rosanna. An artist. See, beautiful. Right. So, what happened to that? What happened to that dream? Why, for those of you that aren't, actress, brilliant. If you weren't, or if you're not still, so we know one because one wasn't earning enough. But why didn't you still carry that on? You know, what stories ended up coming into your life that said you're not able to? So, you know, you're to this, you're to the other, you're yes but this, and yes but you'll need to do that first. I think mine was a vet. I thought I wanted to be a vet because I love animals, I like being around animals, I've always had animals, so I'd said to myself, yeah, I want to be a vet. And actually the reality of when I learned that there was actually a really bad and hard side to being a vet, that ended up not, you know, I knew that wasn't for me. But for a goodly long time, when I wasn't being, you know, a hairdresser, and there was something else I was going to be. One of those gymnasts that twirls the, I probably saw that and decided I was going to be that, you know, like on the floor with the twirly ribbons. I was going to be one of them as well. But yeah, I think probably then the reality hit me that I didn't want to be the vet, because that was really the only one that was going to turn into a career for me. That it went, and what a shame that I didn't then actually explore that further, because I just saw it as, oh, it's not going to be much fun seeing an animal in pain, so I won't bother. When actually it's such a rewarding job, isn't it, for them? Okay, so we had actress. Okay, so yeah, Donna, when you were a child, you wanted to live on an island in the middle of Loch Lomond. You never dreamt of a job. No, fine, fair enough. Just live on your island. You could grow your own veg and just live in total hermit, couldn't you? Kirsty, you didn't know what to write, so you didn't pursue the writing. But you can always think of things to write, surely. If you've got that spark in you about, I want to create something, I bet you can find in you what to write. You need to get a proper job story. Oh, interesting. Yeah, proper job. What is that? Neck and back. Yeah, so physical restriction from Caroline. My dad told me I wouldn't get anything from teaching dance. Yeah, so stories start coming up from the family. It's not just your own, is it? Lack of self-belief. So Lisa, what was yours related? Yours was a writing one, wasn't it? But isn't it interesting that we end up having this dream that just kind of just drifts off, and if you had it strongly enough, would it have drifted off, or would you have actually put your heart and soul into going for it? I think it's probably the latter for most people. Now, life of course gets in the way, but actually when you have a true dream, a true, genuine, you feel it with all of yourself, then there's nothing that gets in your way. There isn't, because you find a way. So what I want to explore with you today, and the kind of place that I'm trying to take you to, is what if we can create our new dream now? So like when we were children, and we can create that vision. And what if we can feel it so much that it feels so real that every step we take beyond here and now feels like we're working towards that dream? What if we could do that? It would feel amazing. It would feel amazingly expansive, and you'd just feel enthusiastic about everything you were working towards. But actually, it is your choice, and that's the most amazing thing, that so few of us will accept that could be true, because we have these additional stories. So we have the stories that perhaps our parents told us, or we decide that we're not as good as that person that's doing the thing already. And then we sort of suppress ourselves, we suppress the dream, and we go off down another route, which ultimately isn't our dream. It might be fine, but it's only fine for a certain length of time. So let's have a think about our dream now. So we are now Adults, we have the cynicism of the world around us, but for just a minute, let's just leave that at the door. Let's go back to that place when you were a child and when you didn't have a care in the world, but yet you've got the beauty of the experience that you have right now as an adult to start creating that dream. So let's just take a minute and go into that place where we can create those ideas. So almost as if you're allowing that child that still lives within you and that imagination to come through you as an adult. So take a big deep breath with me. You don't have to close your eyes. I'm not going to. You can close your eyes if you want. Just take a big deep breath. So imagine you are literally leaving, as you blow out, you're leaving those stories away. You're pushing that restriction, that noise that you can't, you shan't, you couldn't, you wouldn't, you're not going to be able to. You're leaving all of those every time you breathe out. Let's do it again. Breathe in. So I want you to breathe in that energy, that positivity, that I can, I will, but I want to, I have the desire. And then breathe out the negativity. And it should leave you. So now I want you to think again. Don't reply really, really quickly. Have a think about that dream now. What can you create? What can you picture? Where are you? What does your life look like? Close your eyes if it helps. No one else can see you. I can't see you. Think about the way that you would want your life to be. How will you feel living that life? We talked about the financial side yesterday, but this is so much more than that. This is now your emotional state. This is how you feel when you wake up. It's how you are driven towards something that's bigger than here and now and right as you sit here. It's working towards something that is going to make you feel alive every day. It's lighting you up. Your energy literally shows through because you love what you've chosen so much. So now when you think about that time, you think about that person. Who is she? Does she look like you? Does she dress differently? Does she have her hair different? Does she have a different attitude than the one that's sat here right now listening to me? Does she behave in a different way to be able to go towards those goals? So think about some of those key features, and when you're ready, start to share them, because people are going to feel from one another. You'll start to get a feel of what some of those emotions are, but it should feel different, and it should feel like you can actually put your arms around it and hold it to you. It feels like a warm place to be. It's a really, really positive space to be in. So when you're doing this, it's really about triggering that imagination. And at first, it can be really weird and really tough because we're so focused on this. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. You know, I've got a routine of my life that I'll follow. How often do we stop and actually dream? We don't. So rarely, unless you're into a meditative state and you're relaxed. The ideas just don't come because you're busy. But allowing them to come through you and allowing yourself to, just for that short time, imagine what that life might be like, just gives you enough of a glimpse to spark some ideas. Let me see what you're sharing. I love some of these. So confident. Petra is feeling confident, grateful and happy. Rachel, you're giving up your 9 to 5, you're running your business that you can share with like-minded people. You can picture your positive energy, your home, your love for life rather than work phone ringing all the time. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, Tanya, she has a fire in her belly. Brilliant. Caroline, feel energized and ready to take on the day. You're able to be present with the kids, feel confident about my business, myself, and able to make a difference to others. Love that. Yeah, really good. So Gabriella, to be my own boss and play by my rules. So of those things that you shared there, that feeling, you know that some of those things aren't in your life right now. They're clearly not. Now this vision, if it's big enough and if it's sort of all-encompassing enough, let's describe, because I don't want to say long-term, because sometimes actually it's just a switch that you can flip in your conscious mind to allow your subconscious to let those thoughts through. So it can be quick, but let's say it's that sort of all-encompassing vision that makes you feel this way. What isn't there now, and what could you bring from there into now? Now this one for me, I really couldn't get my head around this. So the first time I was coached through this process, I'd got my understanding of where this new me was going to be and what it felt like, what it looked like. And then I was asked that question, well, how can you bring some of that into you now? And I was like, well, I can't, because I need to have an additional income to be able to bring some of those things in. But that's not always true. So where I want us to get to is some of the feelings, so some of the emotions that you know will be different when you're in that place compared to the place that you're in now. So for me, just to give you some ideas to work from, for me it ended up being time. So while I was in my previous roles and my previous life, I was constantly running behind myself and sort of chasing my tail all the time. I was really busy and trying to cram loads of things in. And actually the new life that I described when I created my vision allowed me to have time. And Caroline, similar to yours, around being present. So whatever it was I was doing, that I was actually doing that thing, as opposed to half thinking about the to-do list, checking my emails on my phone and talking to the kids at the same time. So for me, what it brought me was time. So before we get to the next stage, let's just have a think about what that future you has in it that you don't. And you know, how different does that future you feel to right now? So when you've got yours, share, because this is the secret. Oh, you still shared some more. Sorry, I've missed some of those. Are you the new you by now? Is that me personally, or are you asking about the question that I've asked you? I'm not sure, Michelle. So Rachel's saying calm, energetic, and time with loved ones. So we don't have a real, I wanted to be this when I grow up, move out, have my own home. Age about 9, even now, yeah. Tangible goals, I want to create a residual income. Okay, so there's some real specifics that lots of you have oh no, I've missed some, sorry. So Kirsty, authentic, creative, connected and peaceful, beautiful, yeah, really good. To feel whole, relaxed, peaceful, singing, sling out the suits and be more authentic, yeah. So that's not you, you're living in a different sort of personality. Happiness, you feel alive when you're teaching, confident, energetic, brilliant. So you can be in that person, in that place, can't you? Calm and energetic. Oh yes, me. Oh Michelle, okay, me. Am I in that place now? I am a million miles away from the place that I was, for sure. I still regularly do these sorts of exercises to just make sure that I don't slip back into what were frankly old habits, that if you live in a certain state for a long time, it's very easy to get, oh, Kirsty, you can see a rainbow, how beautiful. If you you imagine that you've almost got into that habit of running at 100 miles an hour, it's hard to then just take that slower step on a permanent basis. And I don't, and I am energetic. I do kind of bounce around a lot. I actually teach a fitness class I did, normal time. So, I'm very kind of high vibe during those. But I think my time perspective now, I do treat very much in blocks, so that if I'm doing something, I'm only doing one thing at a time. I try to be really strict with that. And slowing down for me was the thing that let things in for me. So rather than continuing to push and be really, really busy, I agreed with myself that I could take the time and allow myself to be here and now and be present a lot more, and not force the ideas, not force things in my business, not kind of do that whole, oh, I must this and I've got that and I've got to reach that deadline and I've got to strive for that goal. Just to sort of let it happen is where I am now. But there's still times when I will absolutely slip back into the yes, but there's 101 things that need to be done and flapping around. But I do try much more to live that. Yeah, I do. But other things that can come up for people are, well, I'm going to feel more confident. I'm going to feel more relaxed. I'm going to feel like I have happiness. I'm going to feel fulfilled. These emotional things that your new you, your future self, let's call them that to make the distinction more easily. So your future self has these emotions because you've created a different life for yourself and you're operating at that level now. So the future you experiences life in a slightly different way. It's like I described this recently, that your future you is like Iron Man. I have 2 boys, they're into Marvel, so this is a perfect analogy for me. You are Tony Stark right now. You're amazing as you already, and you've got a fabulous amount of skills and things to bring to the world. But the future you is like Iron Man, so it's still you, but it's kind of got all sorts of additional benefits and feelings to it. So you're not trying to imagine yourself as becoming this entirely new person, because no one can recreate themselves, and nor should they. You are yourself, you're unique and you're beautiful for that. But being able to actually experience some of those feelings, that fulfillment, that sense of happiness, and that being normal, that being your normal state, that's where you want to get to. Because we can all look at the yes, but I want to earn loads of money, yes, but I want that big house, yes, but I want holidays, I want to buy a house abroad, and all of those things. They're all fine, and they sit in that picture. But actually where you're trying to get to is, well, how do I feel as that person that now has that thing? Am I fulfilled? Do I feel satisfied? Does my life mean that I can relax now and I'm not running out of time all the time? So what feelings can you connect to in that future you? Some of you have shared them already. So the next stage of this, just checking I didn't miss any more. The next stage of that is, well, how do you bring it into now? How do you bring it into now? You can't bring it into now, says you. The truth is you can. You can decide to bring it into now. So allowing yourself to make some adjustments, and it might just be prioritising yourself in different ways, having better boundaries, being strict about, well, I'm doing this now and I'm doing this now and I'm doing this now. That's what allows you to bring some of those aspects into your life right now. Because it's only then can you start actually behaving as that person, and then to start to live that person's life. So where we're trying to get to with this is to build this vision that's got not just material factors around it and practicalities of where you are and what your address is, where your houses are, how much money you've got. It's not about that. It's about the future you's feelings, and those feelings are what can spark you into action. So to connect that all the way back to where we sit today, if you can bring some of those elements into your life right here, right now, then suddenly you start to work in towards it. And actually, as we said yesterday, that subconscious mind of yours is amazingly powerful, and we can start to enlist it to help us to get from where you are right here, right now, through to your next stage. Now, you cannot build for a minute a list of things that you can do that says, I'm going to get from where I'm sat right here now to that place in 2 or 3 steps. You shouldn't be able to, because it should be so big, so kind of awe-inspiring, so exciting and scary. That new vision should be all of those things. So you need to be able to make stepping stones towards that. And as you step towards it, the vision becomes clearer and clearer and clearer, like a picture coming into focus as you get closer towards it. So feeling into some of those emotional states allows us to quite quickly bring some of them in. So for me, time, if I give you a really tangible example for me, my one with time, I said in my ideal day description that I would like to get up and have an hour before I started work and before the chaos of the day began to be able to do something for myself. So normally it would be exercise, it might be reading. And actually during lockdown, I sort of forced that routine into my morning because we weren't on the school run, it wasn't quite as chaotic. So I would do an hour of yoga or an hour of self-development, or go for a run, or something that was just for me. And I kept that boundary and still keep that boundary now really strict. So I've brought in some time for me where I just have, that's me and that's my hour. I'm also continuing to be really strict about, this is my work time, this is the family time, and so on. So that suddenly starts to feel like I'm already living this life that I've created and that I've imagined and that I've visioned for myself. So what can you bring in? What are you telling me? Tanya, you spent years feeling like you had another agenda. Future me is free of that by being true and honest. Interesting. So almost like you aren't living in your true self at the moment, whereas your future person is. So let's explore that, because that's almost like a double persona sat right there. So what can you bring in now that will allow you to be more authentic, more you, more totally you? Are there conversations you need to have? Are there things that you're doing which aren't genuinely you, and you want to try and sort of move away from that? Which I totally understand that if that's a challenge to do, but what's stopping you doing that? What are you afraid of? And making just those tiny steps. So amazing that you've admitted that those are what you want to do, but let's take that on. What can you do to bring that in right now? So Michelle, your feeling is accomplished, not feeling like something is missing or you're not reaching your full potential. Yeah, that can kind of eat away, can't it? When you know that you're worthy of more, you know that you want more, and you know that you can do more. It's almost it's sort of a subconscious frustration, isn't it? That just sits at the back of your mind, and yes, but this, and you never truly fulfilled, are you? So what's that thing that you could do now that is going to make you feel as though you're stepping towards working to feeling accomplished, that you're doing something towards chasing that destiny to get yourself to your potential? I can't tell you what they are. It's about you finding that thing, but it's connecting with that thing. So it could be that it's something to do with the business idea that you've got and how to take that on, and actually literally recognise it and saying, look, I'm working on this thing and it feels good, it feels expansive for me, it feels like I'm going to start being able to live into my true potential, and I will feel more. So Rima said, if I was told by someone, if you were to pick up memories and demonstrate the best of you, you can use that to become the future you as a tool. Yeah, true. So if you felt confident, use that as a memory. Okay, yeah. There is something in that, because you can almost tap into the fact that you've done something before, and actually it is possible. It isn't totally out of your realm of capability to do that thing, because you've got experience. It's about building evidence for something, and actually our brains are quite logical, the conscious brain. So if you can say, yes, but here's all the evidence of where I've done a similar thing before, you can convince it that you can do this new thing again. So yeah, that does work. Kirsty says, the future me is free of anxiety about what other people think. She believes in herself. Yes, so you have those stories at the moment around people are judging, presumably what are they going to say if I this, after the other. So what can you do now, Kirsty, that leans into that? Okay, so how would that person live? If that person in the future says, it doesn't matter what people think, can you be brave? Can you just go, right, and that future me would do this, so therefore I'm going to do that now, because that future me is still me inside, you're still the same person. And then suddenly you start to realise that it's not so bad, and it's not going to result in the terrible things you thought it might. And it's exciting, it feels brave. Caroline's future me is full of energy and ready for anything. Okay, so Caroline, What can you do to get more energy now? How can you feel more energetic? I'm not saying go and drink like a Red Bull. What is it that's going to deliver you that energy? And can you go and get that right now? You can go and get it right now. You can choose to go and get it right now. And when you do choose, then that kind of boosts you, and then you're on your way. It's almost like everyone's got a jump start within them to say, well, the future me needs this element and this thing. I need to bring that now because that's going to act as my jump start. And then once I've jump started myself here and now, bang, we're away, and we can continue on to go and chase that future me, which I can see. Tanya says productivity coaching has been really useful. Okay, so learning to be able to be more focused, I guess. Productive, yeah. So to be able to focus in doing your thing. Is that what you mean by that, Tanya? Yeah. I mean, we can be our own worst enemies in so many ways, and give yourself a kick at the bum. Yeah, you do need to like literally have that conversation. But creating your vision should be something that is fun. It should be something that you want to spend time thinking about. When you sort of go to that place, it should feel like it's exciting. It should feel scary. It should feel like, oh, dare I? Can I think that? Is that really possible? Because it's only then you're going to start to hear some of those stories along your way that you can start to address, because there's stories in all of us that say, yes, but this, yes, but that. And those were some of those that we explored first off, that said you can't do your dream thing because of this, because of that. But what if you could? You know, what if those stories, you could just wipe them to one side or flip them around the other way? So I can't do that thing because I'm scared of what people think of me. Well, what if we flipped it round? I can absolutely do that thing because it doesn't matter what people think of me. You know, it's all about that twist of the mind to say anything that you can see, you can believe in, then you can work towards and you can achieve it. It is entirely up to you. If you've got those doubts that say, yeah, but, they're what holds you back. They're what holds the vision almost too far away for you to be able to see it. So it's about letting them just disappear even for a moment. Just say, no, I'm going to just have this time of just total immersion in my beautiful vision. I'm going to create it. That's going to be just the most perfect thing. So a fabulous way of being able to really get some detail into your vision is by creating your ideal day. And this is the one that I do when I still now use journaling quite regularly to work through certain things that kind of come up for me that I don't like how I'm feeling, or things aren't going as I want them to do. I'll journal about it, and actually there's times when I'll just describe my ideal day, because that allows you to be quite structured. So if it just feels weird just kind of sitting there going, well, what does my vision look like? Your ideal day allows you to bring all sorts in. So if you allow yourself some time, you need peace, you need quiet, you need to be genuinely concentrating, and by writing it means that literally you're focused on the pen moving across the page, and you have to slow your thoughts down, which is quite a methodical way of doing it as well. So almost imagine from the moment you wake up, so okay, what does my day look like? What's ahead of me? Where am I? What room am I in? What are all my senses telling me? Can I smell anything? What can I hear? What does the light look like? Whereabouts in the world do you think you are? Then you move through into, well, what's the first things that you're going to do? What's the structure of your day going to look like? And then suddenly you can sort of bring this vision to life as an actual real day. And as long as you feed into that throughout that, and how do you feel? You know, do you feel accomplished? Do you feel satisfied? Are you happy? Are you this? And then you can work into, well, what's in that isn't in now? And I don't want anyone to get into this, yes, but I'm now really into scarcity mode because I want all of these things and I can't have them right now. This is your first step to being able to almost believe you can, and then give yourself permission to have those things. Because without being able to give yourself permission, you're not allowing those thoughts to be real for yourself. You're probably saying, yes, but that's the kind of life that someone else has. That's the kind of life that I can only literally dream of, I'll never have. You know, what's the point? Well, the point is, unless you can dream it and visualize it, you can't ever have it. You have to be able to build that picture first. The stepping stones to getting there will come. They will come. I'm just going to whiz back over some of the comments because I will lose them. Time management is a big challenge for me. Okay. That was the productivity. So time was mine, wasn't it? And I had to switch the way that I felt towards time and the way that I emotionally was connected to time. So I would live in total scarcity with time. I never had enough to do anything ever, never. I always wanted to be doing 3, 4, 5 things at a time. So if I was having my hair done, which was supposedly like some downtime, I'd be painting my fingernails, or I'd be writing notes in a book. I'd always be doing 2 things at once because I was constantly. So actually what I said to myself was, is that helpful? Are these things, do they have a point? And it was only through going through a process of being coached myself and having some really defined goals to what it was I was looking to achieve, and then being able to literally say to myself, is the thing that I'm doing now towards one of my goals or not? And it was amazing the amount of things I found that I was busying myself with that weren't going towards my goals. I thought I was doing a great thing because I was working on this and I was on this course and I was doing this and I was learning that and I was trying to apply this. Some of them were just a total waste of time and they were procrastination in another nature. But it's being able to use your time in a focused way. And I'm sure that is what you've learned. And, you know, doing the one thing and doing it well and making it count when you do it, that for me makes a huge, big difference. So future me has dropped programming of many years, realised that nothing is impossible. Yeah, absolutely. It's not. It's keeping that potential in your mind. Doing is being. Doing is being. Yeah, okay, I see that, Michelle. Yeah. You've got to have both. Let the thoughts get out of your head and bring the senses in. Yeah, that's it. You've got to think about absolutely all the senses being stimulated by your vision. Furlough feels a great opportunity for me. I've had the vision of where I want to be by the end of it. I've created a 90-day plan. So organised. 4 quarterly goals, broken them down into monthly goals, weekly goals. Yeah, putting them into daily goals each week. Amazing. Allows me to keep an eye on the long-term goal and tick off the actions. Yeah, really good way to approach it by just literally chunking it down. I would say take it another level bigger, Zoe. So go beyond. So you've planned in that vision of that's where I want to be when the furlough ends. But what about 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 25 years' time? You know, what's that person? Because you've got to constantly have that eye almost on that horizon, on that rainbow, because then you're stretched more. So you'll only ever stretch yourself as far as you can to reach that initial goal. So if your goal's small, your achievements will be small. That's what they always say. So make your goals really big, like massively big, because you get amazingly resourceful when you do that. You get amazingly, yes, but that's enormous, and you chunk it down and you break it into manageable pieces. So if you'd applied your approach to something which was 5 years away and it was being a millionaire, you could have applied exactly that same process and have those on your day-to-day actions now. It might have been to have been a millionaire, I don't know. So that's where I really want us to lean in. Let me just check that last one. Kirsty says, I have so much to accomplish today that I must meditate for 2 hours instead of 1. Yeah, brilliant, love it. Yeah, it is. It's taking that time. And I know there's a phrase, something like, if you want something doing, ask a busy person. That's true, but actually, is that because they're a busy fool? And I thought that I was so productive, I really did. And when I had the realisation that actually I was more of in the busy fool, I was gutted, genuinely. But oh no, I'm like the epitome of the person that I just can't figure, who doesn't get stuff done, who flaps around all day. And although it seemed like I was productive, I wasn't moving myself forward. I wasn't moving my business forward. I was just busying myself. And it's a safety blanket sometimes. That's the trickier bit. That is the tricky bit. Does meditation with a vision help? Are you referring to your previous? Let the thoughts of your head, senses go by, present. Yeah, I mean, whatever way works for you. You've got to find a way that you're not forcing these things, because then you won't do it. So if it's writing, if it's sketching, if it's just sitting thinking, if you do it while you're walking, you're in the fresh air, whatever it is, just give yourself almost that freedom to create that vision for yourself. You don't want to build any restrictions in, because that's where that horrible ego gremlin kind of knocks you on the shoulder and goes, yes but. And it's interesting what turns up when you do this, because it is a case of, well, you're just letting the ideas come, but it's amazing what shows up. It says, yeah, but you're not this, or yeah, but you're not that, and yeah, but you're not that. Well, that's not relevant. It's your dream, it's your ideas, and it's you that's gonna live into that when you are really genuinely feeling it. Let me check what I've said and what I haven't said. So tell me about your ideal day. We can't share our full because it'll be a massive long diatribe, but tell me about something that features in your ideal day. So for me, while you're typing, mine is that I wake up in a room that's got, I know there's lots of light around, although it's not really bright, and the bed kind of crunches. It's sort of got one of those crunchy, crinkly, crisp bedding sets on that smells great, and I can smell coffee downstairs. I can hear the kids already up and about and doing their thing, and I can just lie for a moment just in real peace, knowing that I've got an amazing day, that I can continue to help people, that what I'm doing is helping others, and I feel just at ease with myself. I know that I can turn up as me. I'm not having to pretend to be something I'm not. I can just be me, and what I have to give is what people need, and they will take that help. So I feel fulfilled and relaxed in that knowledge. That's how I wake up, and then the rest of my day is equally as amazing. Kirsty, I think you'll probably... Oh yeah, and a bit of advice from Kirsty. Do basic mindfulness meditation for 10 or 15 minutes in the morning, and you find that helps you to be open and more receptive. Step back from the hamster wheel. Yeah, we've all got that constant ching, 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 ching. Yeah. Lou, hi, nice to see you. So tell me, I'm waiting for your comments about your days. What does your day, what's a feature in it? It might be your evening meal, it might be something that you want to do in your ideal day, but you never get an opportunity to do. Tell me about it. I'm going to have the slurp. Some of mine the same way, but with a good cup of coffee. Brilliant. By the side of the bed. I think it's the cup of coffee being made. I can hear the coffee being made downstairs. But you can see when I described mine, I've thought a lot about it. I've thought about the way that the room looks. I've thought about the bed. I've thought about the smells around me. I've thought about how I feel. And all of those things are stimulating those ideas of, okay, so how do I feel in that place? Walk on the beach, beautiful. Yeah, so you can feel the sand between your toes, you can smell the sea, you can hear it. Yeah, really nice. Zoe, to get to the end of it and feel a sense of accomplishment. Yeah, so you know you've lived through that day doing something you've enjoyed, and you feel satisfied by the end of it, whatever that thing is you've done during your day. Tanya says, I can be more present when I'm with my kids instead of constantly thinking about my to-do list. Yeah, there's always running around in your head, isn't it? cup of tea while looking over a beautiful, peaceful view from a garden, good weather, big window in the bad weather. Yeah, here in Britain we can't just have the veranda, can we? Okay, you don't live near a beach, but yet, like it, not yet. Waking up excited and energised about the good things. Yeah, so you can see how imagining your day allows you to get some of that stuff in. Trip to London, enjoying the museums. You wouldn't do that every day though, would you, Gabriella? You'd be able to enjoy a day doing that, but actually this is everyday life. I want you to think about, what does your life look like in your ideal new life, the future me? What's your normal day? So yes, you'd be able to perhaps enjoy more trips and do more stuff like that, but I want it to be normal. I want it just to be, this is how I live. So then it's about bringing that one thing. What's that one thing you're going to bring in? So there's one that actually I have to say, because I can see them. So for me, having fresh flowers is a massive luxury. My husband doesn't buy me flowers, and I very rarely have in my life have sort of felt indulgent enough to buy myself flowers. Does that sound silly? It sounds silly even saying it, but it was one of those things that I never grew up with. So for me to buy myself flowers felt like really kind of indulgent and like I was really spoiling myself. So in my ideal home environment, I have flowers all around me, and I have flowers regularly changed, so there's bunches everywhere. And before I was about to start this live, I said to my husband on Sunday, please can you buy some flowers, because I'd like to have some around. So I had to sort of initiate that, and yeah, he said fine. So he bought me some, and it was a big old bunch, so I'd separated it out into two different vases. You will probably see one of them tomorrow, but this bunch that you can see behind me, this was actually a present from someone that he saw through a socially distanced visit. And so I've now got 4 bunches of flowers around my home. So when I came downstairs on yesterday morning, ready to start with you guys last night, I had that smell, and it was like, oh my goodness, my ideal day started like this, with the smell of fresh flowers and being relaxed and blah, blah, blah. And look, I've brought that into my life now, and how does it feel? It feels amazing, and it feels like I'm there and I'm bringing some of that stuff. So they don't have to be big things. They don't have to be, yes, but that costs a fortune. I can't just go out and buy a new car or whatever. You know, it might just be time. It might just be allowing yourself to do something which feels indulgent, like for me, buying the flowers. Does this make sense? Give me some likes. Give me some, yes, this is making sense. Because I need to give you your homework, which you'll love. I love how many of you have answered already. If you didn't get to do the task from yesterday, I'm leaving all the videos in, so go back and have another look if you didn't catch yesterday's, and complete your want to earn, need to earn, and tell us about what that means for you. You know, what does your want to earn get you? So that was quite a practical, materialistic element to it. And then today we've gone much more emotional, we've gone bigger, and I hope you have taken yourself down the start of that road of saying, here's my expansive thought. Because let's go back to basics for a minute. I know that you joined this to learn about building a business, growing your dream, and having your own world, having your own business. But honestly, if you don't have your head in the right space, there is no point in having the practical parts to this. I could tell you the practicals, I could tell you the don't do this, avoid these mistakes, and you could give it the best go ever, but it's only ever going to work to a limited extent. If you can't build yourself this vision, these thoughts, these expansive, allowing yourself to believe it, then literally you're just going to still be holding yourself back. So if you've lived in a world where you've got these rules around, yes, but that doesn't happen to me, and yes, but that, just because you're starting your own business doesn't mean you leave any of those behind, unless you're really conscious of doing so. So that actually putting that to one side and saying, right, I'm now building this life, I'm building this version of future me, and you can start to see it. That's where you get the proper foundations of building your own business, not by learning practical steps and how to this and how to the other and how to this. that will only get you so far. It's by understanding really and truly that it's what's between here, regardless of what product or service you're going to give, is going to get you really truly to the next level. And it's a combination of the two. You can't just have your head in the right space and not know what to do. However, if you don't know what to do, it's amazing how resourceful you will end up being. But if you have them both together, they work just in the most beautiful harmony to create something for you forever. Not just, yes, but I want to earn £50,000 by Christmas. Okay, well, by some sort of hustle and kind of stress you might be able to, but is that sustainable? Possibly not. You want something which is long term, that you can live the life that you're trying to create for yourself and your family. Right, now that said, let's give you the homework. So I want you to picture, and this is particularly pertinent at the moment with us starting to go out and meet those that we might have been away from for a while. So you have bumped into somebody that you've not seen for a year, and they've gone, oh my goodness, look at you, I haven't seen you for ages. What's happened to you in the last year? That's what they've said. I want you to describe it. I want you to tell me what you're going to say to that person. So be as specific as you want to be as descriptive as you want to be, but truly picture it. Don't just, oh, well, I did this, I did that. What have you done? What will you tell that person? What are you going to feel proud of? And I want you to give some thought to it, and of course share it. So give us an account of what you've done in the last year. But it's to someone that you're quite happy to share certain details with, and they're going to go, oh yeah, wow, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. And when you've shared that, that is going to feel, I hope, really exciting to do. So is this a current or is your future? Well, I guess it's somewhere in between the two, isn't it? Because it's you as of today, 1 year on. So are you the future you by then? Totally, or not? Are you still working towards the future you? Have you started that journey towards becoming the future you? Or actually, do you believe you'll just stay as totally you? I think you'll have started to change, you'll have started to evolve. Is that our year just gone or the year ahead? So it is a year from now. So it's June 2021. And so it's from this moment on, you're going to give that account. I've really confused you, haven't I? So you're sat in June 2021. Who are you? What do you feel? What have you done? What have you achieved? Caroline's got it. Zoe, do you get it? Because there is no, is it as currently or is it as a future version of ourselves? Of course, it's some level of future version of yourself. How much of a future version of yourself it is totally up to you. Totally up to you. But you're not, if you did this a week from now, you're not the same person that you are today. Every single day, every experience that you have, you add to yourself, don't you? You become a new version of yourself. You've got it, brilliant. You almost become a new version of yourself with everything that you do, with everything that you learn, you read, you take in. It lodges and it creates a new version of you every single day. So yes, June 2021. Fabulous. Has anyone got any questions before we close up for tonight? Leave it for a minute to let Facebook give me a thumbs up. I don't know why I can't see the likes. Give me a like and see if it works. So tomorrow we're starting to move towards the what are you going to do? How are you going to make your money? What's your business going to look like? So tomorrow we are leaning into our superpower. We are going to get down to what you're going to do, what your superpower is going to be, how you're going to actually start creating these steps towards your vision. And we're going to explore the fact that you can totally do this now, that you've got your superpower already. So enough of a teaser. No, just thanks, just thumbs up. Fabulous. Right, I shall let you go and get on with your little task. post them in. I'm keeping a log of who is responding, and yeah, I'll give you some more updates on the giveaway. So yeah, Superpower tomorrow, plus a really exciting, super amazing bonus to tell you about as well. So I'll see you at 8 o'clock, hopefully with no thunderstorms. Have a great day tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks all, bye.